Here we go. It's a genre conversation. Yes! Got Caitlin a face test today. I'm so happy. We're here. I really don't know how to open this because...
You seriously need to figure out a better opening for this podcast.
You need to shorten that and.
I like it.
Obnoxious.
Well, I don't know. How long do you think I can hold that for?
I'm not sure I want to find out.
As you can tell from our complete lack of organization.
Oh my god, this
is the what the fuck episode where Caitlin's computer died. Okay, so nobody actually watched the movies.
It's a long story. It's a long story.
I just put it together rather concisely.
I'm going to put it together a little nicely because I feel like it. Caitlin's computer decided that it was a bad person and decided to be a bad computer and blow up. Much like every Apple product ever. If it actually
blew up, then that should have been recorded because that would be amazing.
Every Apple product ever, it decided that it didn't want to work. And
it got tired of not being the center of
attention. I know. And then, so none of us had a chance to watch any revisionist westerns, mainly because Michael doesn't
watch the movies.
Yeah.
Fuck the movies. I had exams to study for.
Yeah, and he had exams, and Caitlin didn't have a computer. And I was the only one who had access to all three of the films. So I said, you know what? Let's just do an episode. I've picked out 10 questions. I prepped really hard for this, as you can see. I picked out 10 questions.
You can't see because we're not recording this. So anybody who is on YouTube, I am very sorry for the fact that I have not put up videos in the past month.
It is horrible. What were you doing?
I'm frustrated beyond belief. And this, if you are watching this on YouTube, is most likely going to be sound, or if I have a computer by then, I will come up with some quirky animation thing to put up for you.
Please do. You can put up like Grouchy Cat or something.
Maybe we'll do it in memes, like our ending. We'll just
do like Grouchy Cat, like no video for you.
We had video once; it was awful, something like that. Yeah.
There we go.
It'll be great.
Problem solved.
Also, if you're listening to this with the audio, please do turn on the captions. Like that is the best part of watching our videos with the audio.
It's true.
Those captions are so bad. They're just
terrible.
They're beautifully failed.
I'm too lazy to actually put in what we're actually saying.
Please don't, because it's way funnier.
Because I love it when it says, when it comes up with like Blue Man Group, when I say source word. That's like the funniest thing to me.
Blue Man Group.
I have no idea how it did that. I was like, what? Something really stupid like that. So anyways, we have a bunch of discussion questions. It's basically calling this episode discussion questions. In which, on various topics involving the world of cinema.
Our world of cinema. We each have an individual world.
We do?
A whole new world.
And Tom is now serenading Kasen.
I had to do it.
Terribly.
I couldn't hold up.
Well, I'm impressed by your ability to carry notes. So audiences...
The wrong notes, but...
By apology for all of you, for everything taking so long, we've decided to film this episode with all of us entirely naked. Now, you won't be able to tell because we're not posting the footage, so you'll just have to take our word for it.
Sure, we'll go with that.
I can't believe you just said that on air.
I can.
I'm cutting that out. I'm literally going to cut that out.
Sad thing is I believe you would say that. I'm just so not phased at this moment.
Just not even.
I'm sad that you're not phased.
You just can't even at this point.
I feel like I need to try harder.
What was it? We have a new thing now. I don't know where I got this from, but Annika's been saying it all the time. On a scale of 1 to even, I just can't.
Just cannot right now. I literally cannot.
I just can't.
Starbucks, I literally cannot.
Why didn't somebody buy me coffee?
How done are you on a scale of like 1 to done?
I'm so done.
She can't even.
I just can't.
Numbers. So I'll try harder because clearly I'm not being offensive enough these days.
This isn't the insults to humanity episode.
Yeah. So, anyways, we have a bunch of those. We're gonna do Love and Other Stuff first. Have we ever discussed Apple on the podcast?
No, we should because they're such bullshit.
It's an expensive,
it is.
good-looking thing that's going to break in about half a month.
And you can count on their no customer service to help you.
Yeah, no. I walk into...
Go to the Genius Bar.
No, I go to... every time I go to the Apple store, nobody wants to help me. And anytime I go ask somebody, they're like, no, I have other things to do. And they go and talk to the other geniuses. I go to the Microsoft store, and I had about 5 people come up to me like, hey, how are you doing? Can I get you something to drink? What are you looking for? That's customer
Champagne?
service. The guy spent an hour with me talking about tablets. An hour. We talked, we exchanged life stories. He was telling me about his life and how practical the new Surface 3 Pro, how practical it was in life.
Did he give you his number?
No. I got a card, though.
Damn.
I was with Fred. So.
Oh, okay, that makes it. Yeah, he would have been like, "Oh, tap out." He probably thought Fred was your
Tap
kid.
out? What?
he probably thought Fred was your kid. Was like, "Tap out." Don't wanna go
No, I'm pretty sure you could tell Fred was my brother. He's as tall as me now, so if he
Is
was
he?
my
Aw, that's sweet.
He grew.
He grew. Oh, that's not sweet because it was so much better when he was like 4
Young-
foot
young
10. Yeah,
Fred.
when he was like 4'10". And
Offending people. It's
Anyway,
fine.
enough talk about my brother. We need to move into love and other stuff.
yes, this week, Love and Other
Wait,
Stuff.
wait. Love and Other Stuff isn't related to your brother, is it?
No.
Okay, good.
Oh God, ew.
Ew.
No, I'm definitely cutting that out. That's not going
Yes,
in.
I got a response. It's so worth it.
I'm definitely cutting that out. Like, I'm like, there'll just be like people like, what's just gonna happen? I will cut this out, like that out, and I'll start talking about cutting stuff out. Be like, what is he? What
Are
is
you
he
going to have
talking
like the redacted episode where like 90% of the content is just removed?
about? Maybe.
This episode is
Maybe.
going to be 5 minutes long.
Maybe.
Oh, we'll be our most concise
It'll just be the intro of the jingle.
Guys, we need to get into love and other stuff. We've wasted 7 minutes of these people's lives.
Well, someone had to.
They're there. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm
Michael,
frustrated.
What did you do this week for Love and Other Stuff?
Love and Other Stuff. Well,
Michael's done
lots of
nothing.
things. But I'll talk about Ninja Gaiden instead. Particularly the series. I guess it would be a reboot at this point. You may remember Ninja Gaiden. Actually, probably don't. You're probably all too young, bastards. Ninja Gaiden was a series on the NES around 88?
You
Probably a
were
bit
alive
earlier.
in 88.
Yeah,
might
so
be
was your
like
mom. And it was a fantastically hard series of platformer games, whose most notable trait
Wait,
was...
is that the one like? Is that the one like that? Is this the game where you beat the game and then you have to do it all over again?
No,
Yeah,
that's
that's my
just Ghouls and Ghosts.
That's like my favorite thing. I'm
And
not gonna lie.
that happened to me. I was so pissed off. It turns out you can't. The only way to get the true ending of the game is to get an item that you can only unlock on your second playthrough. So the game just screws you no matter what you do.
Right.
But the great thing is the item you get makes the entire game harder.
That's awesome. Does it just make the gameplay worse then? That's fantastic.
Yeah. Basically, you go through that entire game with ranged weapons, and it replaces all your ranged weapons with a melee weapon, which is only really useful against the last boss.
Yes, that's fantastic.
That is how
awesome.
Capcom cares about you.
Capcom.
But the Ninja Gaiden series was ridiculously hard and yet really rewarding because it's one of the few games you could play through where precision really mattered. If you were a split second off, it could make the difference between making it through a section of the game or dying like an idiot and having to play it over again. And the fact that once you got the timing right, you got through, really gave you a sense of achievement. That's not to say the game was without its flaws in the original series, but it was awesome. It stood out. It was the first game to have cinematics. So
Yeah.
it was something special. Which brings us to the new era in which the series has been rebooted by Team Ninja. I guess they had the right team name. And then subsequently remade again, I think about a year after their release, because of like content changes, patches, and other tweaks. Mm-hmm. That's not a problem for me because I picked up the entire series now for about $20, but I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
people who spent $60 on it would have been pretty burned out. The new games are very different. They're no longer really platformers. Like there's some basic 3D platforming segments. It's mainly about killing the everlasting crap out of things. I know, right? Just like
high five.
every game ever.
That sounds like fun, actually.
It is actually a lot of fun, particularly since there's blood and dismemberment. It's
I love how you
from
complain.
a Nintendo game.
I love how you complained about gore, and then like there's blood and dismemberment, and you're like, it's fine.
Well,
Little
I
Shaun of the
did-
Dead
I
was
did-
too gory.
that's the thing. Video game gore doesn't bother me, but movie gore I can't stand. It's retarded, I know, and I
have-
fully admit this.
We have to do an episode in which we watch Suspiria. I just bought that. Oh my god, that movie is amazing! Oh god.
That's what your mom said.
I was gonna. No, I'm not gonna say that.
So, anyway,
Stop.
the new series is a lot of fun. Much like the original series, it has very little focus on actually doing stealthy ninja things, and much more of a focus on you're a ninja with a sword killing the crap out of everything you see, which works, surprisingly. The combat is challenging enough. Enemies will counter you and dodge you, and basically be a pain in the ass for anyone who just likes things to sit there and die.
Are the games still really, really hard, or is it
It
gotten a little easier?
They are hard, but not the original series hard, because like that was split second being the difference between life and death.
Was it the point?
I played the games on
Yeah.
easy, granted, because I knew they were going to be hard, and I just didn't feel like too much of a challenge.
Yeah.
So I'm sure on the highest difficulty, things probably kill you in one hit, which is just retarded. So it's challenging in a different way. It's not the old series, and to be fair, it shouldn't try to be the old series because it's not going to pull it off.
Right.
But what it is works, and it's an above-average series of very stylistically flaring action games, and they're a lot of fun for that.
I'm wondering what's going to happen. Like Michael, I'm waiting for the day that you go and like play Minecraft or something, and come back with like a review of Minecraft for this segment.
You're a little late for a review of Minecraft.
Honestly, I have solemnly vowed never to play games like Minecraft or Dwarf Fortress because I think I would just enjoy them too much, and then I would never have a life. And frankly, I don't have time for that.
Truer words have never been spoken.
It's true.
I play Minecraft.
Yeah, but you're also not Michael.
That's true.
Michael,
Thank God for that.
Michael enjoys his video games so much so that he still hasn't watched a goddamn movie from 2014. Have you seen a single release from 2014 yet?
Nothing that we haven't covered, no. No, wait. When was Desolation of Smog?
That was
this year or
2013.
last year?
That's last year.
Good enough.
Does not count.
It's not my fault nothing
See
good
this?
came out this
See
year.
this?
Oh, no,
You have
wait.
to-
Gravity.
Gravity is 2013.
Yeah, nothing good came out this year. I couldn't be bothered.
Actually, you know what? Speaking of nothing good coming out this year, can I go next?
Are you going to talk
Or-
about
Sure.
After Earth?
I'm not going to talk about After Earth because that's a 2013 film. I actually went to the theater.
Jesus, nothing came out this year.
I went to the theater last 2 days to go see two things. Caitlin, actually, what are you going to talk about?
You talk about yours first.
I'll talk about mine first. Okay. I saw Lucy and Guardians of Tay Galaxy.
Oh, I heard Guardians of the Galaxy was actually really good, and that scares me a little bit.
It was not.
I took one look at the
A lot of
posters
people
and
tell
told
me
me
it was
everything I
good.
need to know.
It was not.
So it's a hit or miss then.
Here is the issue with this, and I've come to the conclusion that 2014 is the year of meh, and the year of critics are wrong.
I
Because
thought 2014 was the year of no content.
No, Michael, it's not. There was lots of good content. There was Under the Skin and Only
You
Lives
said
Until
not-
Alive.
You told us not to watch that movie.
That's because you guys won't like it.
Okay, so two movies which you told us not to
I
watch.
have a bunch of different things, okay, that are good from 2014.
Like,
and
oh my
I still
God.
haven't seen Boyhood and like Night Moves and like The Double yet, okay? Like honestly,
Those all sound bland.
Boyhood is supposed to be amazing. I'm so excited for Boyhood.
Can we get back to
Oh my
the
God.
task at hand?
Anyways,
please?
but I discovered like so far I've basically like anything I went and saw in mainstream theaters that had high critical acclaim, I've been very, very underwhelmed with. And it goes back to the first Love and Other stuff we did where I talked about X-Men and was underwhelmed and thought it was mostly melodramatic and boring, and especially after Quicksilver disappeared. Then I saw Edge of Tomorrow and thought that was bad, and then then I went and saw Fault in Our Stars and thought that was mediocre, and then I went and saw this and thought it was pretty damn mediocre.
So we've up.
Yeah, it's pretty darn mediocre.
A name. We need a name.
The issue with this movie is how much it wants to be Star Wars.
What movie?
The Guardians of Tay Galaxy. Is that
Thank
how
you.
much it wanted to be Tay Star Wars? It was. There was a scene where a character fires something out of a cannon at somebody, and it has the exact same fucking sound cue as when Luke fires the torpedoes into the weird hole thingy in the Death Star. It's like the bump, 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 bump. I was like, are you serious? Like, I was so upset.
You memorized the sound cue?
But it's the exact same. It's like bump, 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 and it's like.
It's probably an homage.
Yeah, it is a fucking. It's terrible though. It was so.
Why are you offended by an homage?
The whole thing, everything about it was just. It wanted to be Star Wars. It was so annoying. Like it was, like the relationship between the raccoon and the tree. I can't believe I just said.
I'm sorry, I can't take you seriously after that sentence.
I know, but
You have a movie that desperately wants to be Star Wars, and you have a sentence with the raccoon and the tree.
This is the
fuck?
this is the world this movie. I'm not against this too, and I like these characters, from comic books and stuff like that, and I went on a big graphic
The
novel.
squirrel on the tree.
Yes, the squirrel in the tree, Michael. The squirrel is. It was when everyone at Marvel was on an acid trip. They created this thing called Guardians of the Galaxy, and the raccoon is based off of a Beatles song called Rocket Raccoon or something like that. And the tree is just a giant talking tree that knows 3 words.
Sweet Jesus!
And these 2 characters are basically Han and Chewie. The inside of their ships all look like the Millennium Falcon.
How the crap does the tree get around?
It walks. It's a moving tree. It's like an ant.
It's a moving tree? Okay, that's
it's
a
like an
little
ant.
less stupid.
It's like an ant. And the villain looks like Darth Vader. Like, it is the dumbest. It was like the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen about how much I wanted to be Star Wars. Then on top of that,
At least just being honest.
Yeah. Then on top of that, it had no idea what it actually wanted to be tone wise, right? Like, Star Wars.
So you got tone whiplash.
Yeah, Star Wars is a movie that it has one specific tone, right?
It's tonally consistent.
It's tonally consistent. It's tonally mostly kind of campy serious. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Totally
all the
the
humor
same
and the romance fits with that. It doesn't. It's not alternate ends.
It's not. We have
A Monty
emotional
Python
death
sketch.
emotional death scenes, all the way to like the most ridiculous things you've ever seen involving somebody losing a leg. Like, it was like one line after one line after one liner, followed by about 3 sentimental plinking piano moments. Like, it was. I was a little bit jarred by that. The action was really bad too. I had no idea what the fuck was happening most of the movie. I was lost.
Well, that's sad.
I was
If you're going to
really
make
lost.
a Star Wars ripoff, you should at least have decent
I
action.
should at least know what the hell's happening. On top of that, too, the film is about 45 minutes too long. Like, the film was only about an hour and 40, and
I hoped you were going to say the film is 45 minutes long. That would be a point in its favor.
It felt like 3 hours. I took my mom to go see it, and afterwards she was like, I was like, what time
Afterwards,
is
she
it?
was like, afterwards, she was like,
Afterwards, she was like,
Yeah,
she was
so afterwards your mom didn't speak to you anymore.
like, no. Afterwards, I asked her what time it was, and her response was, I'm sorry, I'm moving as fast as I can. And her
Say
response
afterwards one more time.
was, okay.
So afterwards...
At the end of the movie,
Thank you.
I asked her what time it was, and she responds 5:30. I'm like, we've been only here for 2 hours? I couldn't believe it. I honestly thought it was 7 o'clock at night. Like,
Of the next day.
I had felt like I'd been sitting there for forever watching this thing. To be honest, to understand this movie, you have to understand that the tree is pretty much the best character. The tree that that can say only 3 words. The tree that can only say "I am Groot" is the best character.
It says what?
That should tell you everything you need to know about this movie.
What does the tree say?
I am Groot. Its name is Groot.
Great. So, let's just, for shits and giggles here, tell me, how does this film stack up to Titanic, the animated movie?
Here's the thing, though.
It's not an insult to humanity.
Here's the thing, though. The soundtrack for this movie is like the greatest thing ever. It was one awesome 70s, 80s pop song after another. It was like your favorite. You remember that Escape, the Pina Colada song that we were listening to that one time, Michael? Pina Coladas. Like, it was nothing but that for like an hour and a half. So the soundtrack was amazeballs. The rest of the movie around it was bad.
That you completely misunderstood this movie, and it's meant to be either an homage to or a mockery of
music.
everything that is space opera.
I would not be surprised because I know that I know the director, but I actually feel like he really wants this to be Star Wars.
They had a one-on-one conversation after their lone night together.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Speaking of which, we really need to get George Takei on the show.
We do. Oh my gosh.
We need to get more viewers to get George
I mean,
Takei on this show.
George Takei. By the time
But I think if you have George Takei on the show, you have more viewers.
George Takei is just George Takei. Oh my. Oh my.
Okay.
Okay. Anyways,
But he only says
Next
2
movie.
words.
I haven't finished yet.
How have you not finished yet? You've spent
So,
10 minutes.
While this
talking
movie was really bad, my review on Letterboxd was literally Guardians of the Galaxy, the soundtrack, 6 out of 5, Guardians of the Galaxy, the movie, 2 out of 5. So
How is it possible to give more than a 100% rating to something?
because the soundtrack was so good.
That still doesn't make sense.
So, I mean...
It's Tom, Michael.
Oh, that's true. It is Tom.
I mean, definitely, we're going to talk a little bit more about this when we actually talk about superhero movies, but this movie really is mostly just there to establish
Talking
canon.
about superhero movies.
Right here. See, there's a question in here.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh,
One of our
yeah.
discussion questions.
Yeah, learning.
Speaking of moving on,
One of the
something we should
one
do
of the
soon.
discussion one of the things I've discovered about film, how the fact that comic book movies are basically moving towards being more like comic books and less like properties, less like adaptations, and
2014 repeats itself.
Yeah.
oh,
So you're the big man.
So just to clarify, I have a schedule in front of me of all the future episodes, and so we have up to August next year planned, but it goes December 19th, 2014, January 2nd, 2014. So 2014 is repeating itself, ladies and gentlemen, and that goes for the entirety of this.
Well, it only seems fair. Nothing came out this year.
We need to go again.
yeah, and so it was a movie this movie basically only exists to set up Phase 3 of Marvel's Master End plan. Like, this movie is basically there to set up what's going to happen in Avengers 3. Like,
I don't want any characters from this movie to be in Avengers 3.
they will not be in Avengers 3.
Then how is it setting it up?
It's setting up like people and the universe. It's setting up people in the universe and stuff like that. Like the first 25 minutes of this movie are actually really fascinating because it's like, here's this person, here's that person, here's this world, here's that world. This is why this is important. And then after that, it just devolves into a very shitty version of Star Wars. So
Two-faced desks.
yeah. So anyways, I think I gave this film. Oh, I forgot to ask for your Ninja Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden.
Ninja
You
Gaiden.
should learn to speak words.
Ninja Gaiden.
What
What
was
the
Ninja
rating?
Gaiden? Do we do half stars or no?
You can do half stars. Yeah, of course you can do half star.
I'll say about 3.5 out of 5. There's a lot of things it can do better, but for what it sets out to be, it achieves that pretty well. It's a fun time. If you bought it for $60 each, you'll probably be a little butthurt, but $20 or $30 for the set, you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, for $20, that's probably pretty good.
Yeah, it's
Pretty
a
good.
steal.
It's a steal of a deal.
Yours is 2.
I
Based
know
on what you
mine
had
was
in box.
mine was combining the two because you had the soundtrack at 6, you had the other thing at 2. It was like a 3. So
Okay.
mine was like a 3. And then the other film I saw tying into the fact that Guardians of the Galaxy had like a 93% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
The film I went and saw had like a 50% rating.
yeah.
That was Lucy.
I want to see that.
It was so good. Oh my gosh, I have no other way to say it other than it was just amazeballs. The first,
It was some art film, wasn't it?
it was so artsy, but it was like a genre art film. It was so goddamn cool. Oh my gosh, I have no idea how to explain how cool it was. It was just
So Tom
cool.
likes
I want
every
you to
movie
think
that Rotten
about
Tomatoes doesn't like.
kind of, yeah, kind
It's
of,
true,
kind of.
just like
I
Food
want
Fight.
Food Fight is great. How many times do I have to say that Food Fight is great?
We'll talk about
Food Fight is
that
an
later.
ironically bad movie. It is designed to be that shitty, and it succeeds. So therefore, Food Fight is a success.
But that makes it only a success at being shitty.
So that's
totally-
so that's like going into an exam and being like, do you know what? I'm gonna get 50%, and then you get 50% and fail, but
No.
it's success because you went in and did what you wanted to do.
No,
Yes,
that's
that is
actually
correct.
no. The actual way I would describe that is you're swimming 400 IM, and you're like, I don't want to try. So then you don't try and go 6 minutes. That's the
Yeah,
equivalent.
but 6 minutes is not
No,
a success.
that is entirely wrong.
That is wrong.
Tom, you're completely misunderstanding this.
Loop for disagree.
These
Yeah, well, this is
These
news.
movies.
Good point.
these movies and films like Sharknado, they
Nino is so good.
they set out from like the very first minute
to be the worst.
to
thing
make a
ever.
movie that is shit because they know if it's shitty enough, it's gonna sell. Because some poor bastard is not gonna realize that it's intentionally shit, and it's gonna go viral. And everyone and their mom is gonna watch this horrid ranted abomination. And so, by doing their best to completely sodomize all the laws of cinematography and good movie direction and everything else we've worked so hard to establish, they succeed in making bucket loads of money.
So if you want to, if you're a
It's
future,
sad.
if you're a future director out there or a screenwriter, there's two things you need
There's
to
a play
do.
called this. It's called The Producers.
Okay, there's 2 ways you can be good at a movie. One, try hard and make a really damn good movie,
There are
Or
3.
don't try at all. Make a shit movie and hope it gets popular on YouTube.
Or 3, attach yourself to a Marvel property.
No. Number 3 is try really hard, but end up failing through no intentional fault of your own or the cast, and then you go viral like nobody's.
Hashtag self-line tales. Anyways, yeah, so Lucy was like the coolest thing. Think of the coolest thing you could possibly think of. Okay? And then multiply it by like 3,000. It was so cool.
You've lost me and think of the coolest thing.
I don't think this is cooler than ninjas, time travels with cyborgs, and Chrono Trigger all mixed together.
It was cooler. It was so cool.
You do not words.
It was it was the most cool. Words do not you.
Narrated by Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, it was too. That's what's great about it. Like, Morgan Freeman is in this movie. Like Morgan Freeman plays a scientist that delivers the exposition of the first 20 minutes of the film. And here's what's great about this movie. This movie is about the idea of what would happen if you could access more than 10% of your mental like your cognitive abilities.
I thought you were going to say this is a movie about the idea of how much money you could make if Morgan Freeman directed your movie.
Morgan Freeman. Yeah,
Sorry, not directed.
Narrates a movie.
Narrated. There we go. But probably directed.
It's a movie about what would happen if you had more than 10%. There's all kinds of theories of people saying, yeah, if you hit 40%, you could control matter, or if you hit 70%, you could bend the laws of physics, or whatever it was.
That
we don't know what happened.
Sounds exceptionally bullshit.
Yeah, whatever it was. The thing about this movie is it gave the exposition of what was going to happen, and then basically just said, you know what, that doesn't matter.
Like, that just sounds annoying.
Yeah, it was so awesome. I was so excited by it. It said, here are all these things that could happen, but that's not really what's going to happen in this film. Think about it however you want. It's a movie that it was about a high concept, but didn't actually give you any of the answers. So
that sounds
you had
irritating.
to go, not like it didn't give them to you in a blatant spoon-fed way. You have to think about the answers yourself. And at the same time, the movie had a perfect runtime. It's literally 90 minutes. It ends on a perfect note. There is amazing action scenes in this film. Like there are some of the most awesome, cool things I have seen all year in film. Like people being thrown and stuff like that. All kinds of cool stuff. Way better than anything I ever saw from X-Men and Edge of Tomorrow and Guardians of the Galaxy. And this is an art movie. This is a movie made for $40 million. And it was cooler than all three of those put together.
Only $40 million.
Compared to the fact that Guardians cost $175, yeah.
The things I could do with $40 million.
You could put 4 of this movie. You could make 4 Lucys for 1 Guardians of the Galaxy.
Dude, I could make the best game ever on $20 million.
I don't know. Would it be better than Grand Theft Auto 5?
Yes. That wouldn't take much.
Grand Theft Auto 5 is pretty great.
I disagree completely.
No, I might have to disagree.
That movie is pretty great.
It's not even a movie.
I've been
That game is pretty
antagonizing
great.
people since we started this, so why
noticed.
stop now?
Okay, what other video games are terrible? Let's see here.
You're on a tangent and we're out of time.
Yeah, but anyways,
But we will get back to that later.
Lucy was like the second best movie of the year, and so I'm a little bit miffed because I had way more fun with that than I did with something that was supposed to be fun. Right? Like Lucy was not supposed to be fun. That was supposed to be a bad movie. That was supposed to be too weird, too high concept, too kind of didn't make much sense, was kind of bullshit. And then Guardians was supposed to be the fun, good time action movie, and it was the other way around.
You have completely misinterpreted the point of online reviews.
Online reviews, they lie to you.
No, they're all personal. They're subjective.
And that's what I've noticed is that subjectively, I say Lucy was way more fun than Guardians of the Galaxy. Lucy was a 5-star movie. Guardians of the Galaxy was a 2-star movie with a 6-star soundtrack.
So lo and behold, Thomas here will be that guy.
I will be
who
that guy.
goes on to all the 5-star items and gives it like 2 stars and says, well, you see.
Not true.
From my point of view.
Not true.
This movie is ballsack.
Not true.
Whereas that other movie that everybody hates is a unappreciated work of art. It is a Swiss watch, if you will. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go smoke and have wine with my kittens.
I've never heard Tom's life described more poetically.
It's so weird. That's also not completely true because I did like Only Lovers Left Alive and Captain America and Snowpiercer and...
Okay,
Careful, you might have
Under
to
the
trade in
skin.
your hipster card at this rate.
I know. I'm just... But Guardians of the Galaxy was a no-go. Caitlin, what did you watch this week?
about time I can speak 30 minutes into
No
this
fucking
podcast.
kidding.
Like, Tom decides to
How is
take
this
over.
taking over our show?
I know, like, We used to say, okay, let's make an hour-long show. We're half an hour in and I haven't spoken yet.
I want to see if we can make it to 3 hours. That's my whole goal.
Oh my God.
Can we make it to 3 hours?
I don't want to be here.
Just because we can doesn't mean we should.
Okay. Anyway, I'll make mine short and sweet because.
Thank you.
Did you go watch
why not?
Did you go watch Bride of Chucky?
No,
Oh.
I watched Noah.
Oh, how was this? How was this?
God, that
Noah-
movie is balls.
Noah is one of those movies that from what I hear from everybody, it's a hit or miss. You either really, really like it or you really, really don't. Everybody agrees that it was too long. It is a very, very long movie, and you could cut at least an hour out of that movie. But I really liked it. It sent a message that I think needed to be sent at this day and age.
It sent a message
Shut up. It sent a message that needed to be said to this day and age, and I think that it said everything it needed to say. And it was my favorite scene was the creation scene, though. Like they read the Bible and showed like scientific, like how it would have played out. I thought that was a really cool thing because there are people in the world who believe in like the Bible, but the Bible isn't necessarily like true fact. Just as like it's just a person's interpretation of how it went. People seem to forget that the Bible was written by humans. It wasn't written by God. It wasn't written by any sort of spiritual deity. It
On
was
top
written
of
by a
that,
human.
too, the Bible was millions upon millions of oral tradition passed down too. Right? Like,
Oral tradition.
Oral tradition. Oh yeah. No,
Oh,
but think about it this. Think about it this way: like they didn't have paper in 2000 BC.
Yeah,
They had paper.
later.
Actually, about 300 years after Jesus' death, did they actually have paper?
Yeah, so they had to write everything down afterwards, which I don't know. I really like this movie. It basically is saying that we need to fix something. It sends that subtle message that something is wrong with us. We need to fix it. And it is very true in our world that I believe there are truly things wrong that we need to start addressing and fixing as a race or as a species. We need to fix it. Like problems with our world, problems with the way we do things. And I think that even though that wasn't the main idea with this movie, that really inspired me. I liked it. I'd give it a 4 out of 5.
Would watch again.
Would watch again.
That was the other thing I noticed too about critical ratings. Maleficent, very critically underappreciated. That was a good movie.
It was a great movie.
That was a good movie.
I love that movie.
That was a good movie.
10 out of 10 would watch again.
10 out of 10 would bang.
Like Angelina Jolie, man.
Oh
like,
gosh,
oh,
she's so
God.
gorgeous.
So hot.
Oh, it's like why, Brad? Why?
Brad, why?
You may begin shipping that immediately.
Brad, why?
Okay, my review's done. You're welcome. Mine took 2 minutes as opposed to his like 25. So
There is much I want to say, but we need to move on.
We're gonna move on to some discussion questions. What?